Hey everyone, welcome back to SpeakFlow, where English flows naturally. I'm Sophie.
And I'm Jake. Hey Sophie, it's late. I feel like we should have cookies or something for this recording.
I actually brought some. They're on the table behind you.
Wait, really? You're the best. Hold on. Okay, I'm ready now. This feels cozy.
Right? Late night recording with cookies. Perfect setting for a grammar topic.
Speaking of which, I got a message from a listener named Lucas. He said, I've been learning English for years, but I still don't understand would. Sometimes it means if, sometimes it's polite, sometimes it's about the past. I'm so confused.
Oh, I feel for Lucas. Would is genuinely one of the trickiest words in English.
Why is it so confusing though?
Because it does so many different things. It's not just one meaning. It's like 5 meanings in one word.
5? That's a lot.
It is, and textbooks usually explain each use separately with grammar terms, and it just becomes overwhelming.
So today we're going to make sense of it?
Yes, we are going to cover the main uses of would, the ones you actually need for everyday English. By the end, you'll know exactly which would you're hearing or using.
Let's do it. But maybe start with the easiest one?
Good idea. Let's start with the friendliest would. Polite requests and offers.
Like, would you like some coffee?
Exactly. When you want to be polite, you use would. Would you like is how you offer something. Would you mind is how you ask for a favor.
So it's softer than just, do you want coffee?
Much softer. Compare, do you want coffee versus would you like some coffee? The second one sounds warmer, more considerate.
Let's practice. Would you like something to drink?
Would you like something to drink?
Would you like to sit down?
Would you like to sit down?
What about asking for things?
Then we use would you mind. For example, would you mind closing the window? This is a very polite way to ask someone to do something.
More polite than, can you close the window?
Yes. Would you mind is like saying, is it a problem for you if? Very considerate.
Would you mind helping me with this?
Would you mind helping me with this? Perfect.
And how do you answer would you mind?
Here's where it gets tricky. If you don't mind, if you're happy to help, you say, no, not at all, or of course not.
Wait, so no means yes, I'll help?
Right, because the question is, do you mind? If you don't mind, you say no. Would you mind opening the door? No, not at all.
That's confusing, but makes sense. What's the next use of would?
The next one is probably the most common, talking about imaginary or hypothetical situations.
Like, if I were rich, I would buy a house?
Exactly. This is the conditional would. We use it to talk about things that aren't real. Dreams, wishes, hypothetical scenarios.
So anything that's not actually happening?
Right. What would you do if you won the lottery? I would travel the world. It's imaginary.
If I had more time, I would learn another language.
Perfect. Notice the structure. If I had, past tense, plus I would. This is the second conditional.
Why past tense for something imaginary?
Good question. In English, we use past tense to show distance, and imaginary situations are distant from reality. But don't worry too much about the grammar term. Just remember, imagine plus would.
If I could fly, I would visit every country.
If I could fly, I would visit every country. See? Totally imaginary. Totally would.
And here's the thing. I know these phrases. I would buy, I would travel, what would you do? I've heard them a million times.
But when you need to use them in conversation,
I hesitate. Is it would? Is it will? Past? Present? My brain freezes.
and that's completely normal. Would has so many faces, polite, conditional, past habits, that even when you know the uses, choosing the right one in real time is hard. That's not about understanding. That's about practice.
And I'm guessing this is exactly the kind of thing From Stuck to Fluent focuses on?
It is, actually. There's a whole section on modals like would, but not as grammar rules, as real situations. How to make polite requests, how to talk about hypothetical situations. You practice using them until they become automatic. Plus, the phrase guide has tons of would sentences organized by situation. QR codes on screen or check the pinned comment. But the bonuses won't last forever.
Nice. Okay, what's the next use of would?
This one surprises people. Would for past habits.
Past habits? Like things you used to do?
Exactly. You can use would to talk about things you did regularly in the past. When I was a kid, I would play outside every day. My grandmother would always make cookies when we visited.
Oh, so it's like used to.
Very similar. I used to play outside and I would play outside mean almost the same thing for repeated actions.
Is there a difference?
Small one. Used to works for habits and states. I used to live in Paris. I used to be shy. But would only works for repeated actions, not states.
So you can't say, I would live in Paris?
Not for a state like that. But when I lived in Paris, I would walk by the Eiffel Tower every morning. That works because it's a repeated action.
Got it. Would for actions, used to for actions and states.
Exactly. Let's practice. When I was young, I would spend hours reading books.
When I was young, I would spend hours reading books.
My mom would always tell me to eat my vegetables.
My mom would always tell me to eat my vegetables.
We would go to the beach every summer.
We would go to the beach every summer. That's nostalgic.
It is. This would often has a warm, nostalgic feeling, like you're remembering good times.
What's another use of would?
Preferences. I would rather and I would prefer.
Oh, like I would rather stay home?
Exactly. Would rather means you prefer one thing over another. I would rather stay home than go out. I'd rather have tea than coffee.
I'd rather. Is that short for I would rather?
Yes, I'd equals I would. So I'd rather, I'd prefer, I'd like, all using would.
Let me practice. I'd rather watch a movie than go to a party.
Perfect. She'd prefer to meet tomorrow instead of today. Great. And you can use would you rather for questions. It's actually a popular game.
Oh yeah, would you rather be able to fly or be invisible?
Classic. It's asking about preferences in hypothetical situations.
So would rather combines preferences and hypotheticals.
Exactly. Good observation.
Is there another use of would?
One more important one. Would for future in the past.
Future in the past? That sounds complicated.
It's actually pretty simple. When you're telling a story about the past and you want to mention something that was future at that time, I didn't know that he would become famous. At that point in the past, his fame was still in the future.
Oh, like she said she would call me later.
Perfect example. Will becomes would when you're reporting what someone said. She said, I will call you, becomes she said she would call me.
That's reported speech, right?
Yes, and it's super common. He told me he would be late. They promised they would help.
Let's practice. He said he would come to the party.
He said he would come to the party.
I knew she would be amazing.
I knew she would be amazing.
Nobody thought it would rain.
Nobody thought it would rain. Great use.
Okay, let me see if I have all the uses. Would for polite requests.
Would you like? Would you mind?
Would for imaginary situations.
If I had money, I would travel. What would you do?
Would for past habits.
When I was young, I would play outside.
Would for preferences.
I would rather stay home. I'd prefer tea.
And would for future in the past.
She said she would call.
5 uses. No wonder it's confusing.
But notice, in each case, the context makes it clear. If someone says, would you like some coffee? You know it's polite, not hypothetical.
Context is key.
Always. Let's do some longer shadowing practice. Try to keep up.
Ready.
If I had more free time, I would definitely learn to play the piano.
If I had more free time, I would definitely learn to play the piano.
Good. Now this one. When I was in college, I would stay up all night studying before exams.
When I was in college, I would stay up all night studying before exams.
Nice. And a longer one. She told me she would help me move, but she never showed up, so I had to do everything by myself.
She told me she would help me move, but she never showed up, so I had to do everything by myself.
One more.
I'd rather spend my money on experiences than on things, because memories last longer than stuff.
I'd rather spend my money on experiences than on things, because memories last longer than stuff.
Beautiful. That's a complex thought expressed naturally.
Let's talk about common mistakes with wood.
Good idea. Mistake number 1. Using would with if on both sides. If I would have money, I would buy a car. Wrong.
It should be,
If I had money, I would buy a car. The if clause uses past simple, not would.
so never if I would.
Almost never. There are rare exceptions, but for basic conditionals, keep would out of the if clause.
What's mistake number 2?
Confusing would and will. If it rains tomorrow, I would stay home. This is actually wrong,
Wait, why?
because tomorrow is real and possible. For real possibilities, use will. If it rains tomorrow, I will stay home. Use would for unreal or imaginary situations.
So if it rained every day, I would move. Imaginary. If it rains tomorrow, I will stay home. Real possibility.
Exactly. Great distinction.
What's mistake number 3?
Pronunciation. A lot of learners say would very clearly, would, but native speakers often reduce it to would or even just duh. I'd go. She'd call.
So I would becomes I'd.
All the time. I'd love to, he'd rather not, they'd prefer this. Practice those contractions.
I'd love to come to your party.
Natural.
Let's do a conversation using different types of would.
Great idea. I'll start. Hey Jake, what would you do if you could live anywhere in the world?
That's tough. I think I'd move to Portugal. The weather is great and the food is amazing.
I'd love to visit Portugal. When I was younger, I would dream about living abroad. My family would always talk about traveling more.
Did you ever go?
My parents said they would take us to Europe, but we never went. Life got busy.
That's too bad. Would you still want to go?
Definitely. I'd rather visit in spring than summer, though. Less crowded.
Makes sense. Oh, by the way, would you like some more coffee?
I'd love some, thanks.
See how natural that was? We used what would you do, hypothetical, I'd move, conditional, I would dream, past habit, they said they would take us, future in the past, I'd rather, preference, would you like, polite offer.
All the woulds in one conversation.
And it didn't feel like a grammar exercise.
Because that's how it actually works in real life, all mixed together.
Let's do a quick review.
Would for polite requests and offers. Would you like? Would you mind?
Would for hypothetical situations. If I had, what would you do?
Would for past habits. When I was young, I would.
Would for preferences. I'd rather, I would prefer.
Would for future in the past. She said she would.
And remember, context makes it clear which one you're using.
Also, practice the contraction I'd. It sounds much more natural than I would every time.
One final practice sentence. Ready?
Go for it.
If I could go back in time, I would tell my younger self not to worry so much. Everything would work out in the end.
If I could go back in time, I would tell my younger self not to worry so much. Everything would work out in the end.
2 woulds, 1 hypothetical, 1 future in the past. Beautiful sentence.
All right, everyone, that's our complete guide to would.
If you're still here, thank you for joining us for this late night grammar session.
And if it finally made would click for you, please hit subscribe. It really helps us reach more learners.
Give us a like too. Grammar episodes need love.
And share this with anyone who's ever been confused by would. So basically everyone.
Okay, Sophie, challenge time.
Yes, here's your challenge. In the comments, write 1 sentence using would. Any use. Polite, hypothetical, past habit, preference, whatever you want.
For example, if I spoke perfect English, I would move to London. Or when I was a child, I would watch cartoons every morning. Or just, I'd rather learn English than any other language.
We'll read them and maybe reply with what type of would you used.
It's like a mini quiz, but fun.
We love seeing you practice.
All right, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Keep practicing and remember, would gets easier the more you use it.
See you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.